$3.5 billion for the mail-in votes, okay, universal mail-in ballots. 3.5 trillion. They want $25 billion for the post office. Now, they need that money in order to have the post office work so it can take all of these millions and millions of ballots. If they don't get those two items, that means you can't have universal mail-in voting because they're not equipped to have it.
Millions of Americans are eager to vote this November, especially by mail. Now President Trump has further stripped away any pretense as to why he's trying to impede voting by mail. The president is saying it plain. Denying the U.S. Postal Service funding that it needs would suppress mail-in voting. It is a move that he clearly sees to his advantage. Today, Vice News is reporting that post offices around the country are removing mail sorting machines. Why do that? Good question. So far, officials have not explained that. These are, in many cases, the same machines that postal workers will use to sort our ballots. According to Vice News, 19 mail sorting machines at 5 processing facilities across the U.S. have either been removed or are scheduled to be removed soon. Now, the Postal Service runs hundreds of distribution facilities. It is unclear how many machines will be removed and, again, unclear what the stated rationale for that would be. Joining us now is California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell. He's a member of the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees, and his district borders Kamala Harris's hometown of Oakland. Congressman, welcome.
Thank you, Joshua, for having me back.
So what do members of Congress do about this? The Senate has adjourned until after Labor Day, so it is off the job for at least the next 3.5, almost 4 weeks. With everything else going on, including just trying to figure out another stimulus package for the coronavirus, what does Congress do about this?
We fight. We keep fighting because we know who is counting on the mail. It's not only mail-in votes. It's 600,000 prescriptions a day that are sent out to patients of the VA. And so we have the power of the purse. We have the leverage of oversight. We have a government that needs to be funded by September 30. So we'll continue to fight, Joshua. But this president has never met a deal or seen an election he wasn't willing to cheat. He will do anything to avoid losing this election. He's also probably the first president who could likely face criminal charges if he loses the election. So he has a powerful motivation to do that. We're not going to let it happen.
Do you believe that the president's claim about the post office is a serious one? He's talked in the past about how stupidly the post office is being run, that they've been played for fools by Amazon and so forth. The post office does have some discretion in terms of the way that it moves mail, but it can't move mail for free. How seriously do you take this in the scope of everything else that the president is saying and doing right now?
Our elections are largely decentralized by state and county, but the constant is the United States Post Office, who delivers the mail to those registrars of voters. And if you can dismantle or sabotage that process, you may be able to save yourself. And that's what the president is trying to do. But he is also, by doing that, willing to hurt veterans who are relying on their prescription drugs. But again, don't discount the American people. The American people are determined this election to vote any way they can for their health, for their jobs, for clean government, for their lives. And this election is coming whether the president wants it or not. And we're going to fight like hell in Congress to make sure that the mail still works.
Well, and kind of to that point, in terms of people voting no matter what, I wonder how you view this in light of some of the other known threats to the election, including Russian election interference. They seem in a way similar to me only insofar as they would both potentially serve to make a voter say, my vote ain't gonna count. I knew there was just too much going on, too many things between me and what I want for my vote, so to hell with it. I know this election is important, but I'll just drive somebody else to the polls and let them handle it.
Here's the gauntlet that the Biden campaign has to get through. In any typical election, a president who has the worst economy since the Great Depression and has shown failures of leadership on a pandemic and racial justice issues would be thrown out. But the gauntlet of conveying misinformation, welcoming foreign interference, and trying to suppress the vote, that's what they're up against. But again, all the American people have to do is just sacrifice a little. Look at John Lewis, what he sacrificed in his career to make sure so many had the right to vote. If we just do all we can come election day to show up to the polls so that the result cannot be denied, we can clean up the mess that Donald Trump has made. He wants us to suppress. He believes by having us talk about suppressing the vote, that actually suppresses the vote. He can move the post office, try and wind it down, affect how mail's delivered, but I'm confident too many people understand what's at stake. He is not avoiding defeat.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.